Hello everyone, this is Vicki Verley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and I'm coming at you today to talk a little bit about psychic development. Now, psychic ability, people are born with it, and I feel like it is inherited, but I feel like everybody has it to some degree. And we've been taught to suppress it, and it's all spooky and scary, and people get all freaked out when they're talking about it, but in this age we're entering into now, it's becoming more and more commonplace, and more people are kind of coming out about it, so that's going on. I think everybody has varying degrees of ability. There's planetary energy, it'll show in your chart too. There's, things, Neptune placements, 12th house placements, moon placements. There's things in your chart that can show an inherent ability. I feel like I said before, it does come through the family line. It's like everybody can, learn to play a song on a piano, but not everybody is going to be a concert pianist. Everybody can learn how to memorize some astrology or some tarot, but not everybody's going to be a real psychic. But it totally is a muscle that you have to work, and you have to work to develop it. And it's the old saying, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, and that is the truth. There's prodigies of all sorts, and I believe this is picked up from, past lifetimes. There's math prodigies and music prodigies and artists, these young children that are coming in and doing these beautiful paintings of angels and everything. So everybody does have it. It's nothing to fear. You don't have to go into a trance and your eyes are going to roll back in your head. It's nothing like that. It doesn't have to be like that. There's little things that everybody has that you can pick up on. Chills, goosebumps. To this day, that is a confirmation for me. If I'm talking to a client or talking to somebody and I get chills all over myself, I know that is a confirmation, and that everybody has that. Or when the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, that's another thing. That is confirmation. That means that something's happening, and we just shut it down a lot of times. Spontaneous tears. Tears in your eyes, or if you meet somebody and you have tears in your eyes when you're talking to them, when you're making eye contact, that is a soul thing, and these tears of joy, and that's why people can't, when these wonderful miracles happen and people are crying tears of joy, it's uncontrollable. It's like spirit taking over. So tears are confirmation of truth. If I get tears, I know it's true. I know it's a truth. Chills, hair standing on end, all these sorts of things. We're walking around every day as psychic receptors, everybody is, and we're picking up these things. I get messages, and messages can come in all shapes and sizes too. I get messages through everything. Nature, I'm going to do a whole thing on the animal totems, but I'm a big, watch of nature, and I get all sorts of messages through, nature's signs and things. The TV, I get messages through the TV constantly. I'll just turn on the TV or change the channel, and something's on there that is so relevant to my life or a question that I have. And it never ceases to amaze me, and it happens constantly. Or just confirmation, or even something that I've seen in nature, maybe, like an animal totem, and then I turn on the TV and there it is again, And so, Spirit's showing us things. There's a word for this, what I do too. I go out into a crowd by myself and ask for a message. And I just go to somewhere that's very crowded and walk through the crowd, and I overheard conversations. And this is amazing too, the things that I've heard that have such relevance to my life, or questions that I have, and and these are these angel people that are walking around, and it's really cool. I have the magic radio. I don't have the car anymore, but for years I had this car, and it was probably, I'm sure it was like a short in the wiring or something, but it would just turn off and turn on randomly. So whenever it turned on, all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, and there would be lyrics to a song right when the radio turned on, and it was not always, but many times, it was very relevant to something that I was, pondering, or it was some kind of confirmation, or, just a message that comes through. Also, for me, the crossword puzzle, I've had so many amazing things. Messages come through the crossword puzzle all the time. I wish I had, after my brother died, I wish I had saved that crossword puzzle too. There were so many clues. His name was in it, the word brother was in it, and all these things. There was 10 to a dozen clues were all regarding, it was totally a message for my brother. So I think I was still trying to blow it off, like what a coincidence, but Another thing, the crossword, this is a crazy crossword one. My friend, who's one of my buddies who's psychic, we're talking and she's looking at me and she's going, well, you've got this like pyramid thing or this upside down V over your head, and it's like, it's got rainbows and energy in it. And I'm just like, well, okay. You know, I didn't know what it was, or, you know, but I knew she was truly psychic, so I said, okay, I'll take that. You know, I didn't think much more about it. I didn't really know. I'm like, what does it mean? She goes, I don't know what it means. I'm just seeing it. So then the next day in the crossword puzzle, there's the clue was inverted V, and the word was lambda, Lambda, which has a lot of meanings, and it's a mathematical symbol and other things, but one of the meanings of it is it's a cosmological constant, and one of the meanings of it is the energy density in an otherwise empty space. And I thought that was not that my head is empty, but energy density in a pyramid above my head. But it was like a day or two later that this word, this lambda, is in the crossword puzzle. And my friend had just been saying how she saw the colorful pyramid over my head. So the crossword puzzle, I don't do it as much anymore. I kind of do it online. I don't get the paper anymore. But I've had some great magical things happen with that crossword puzzle too. Messages, great messages. Another thing that's to everybody has access to is the magic chamber of the bathroom and the shower. I don't know how many times in the bathroom it's like this magic chamber, and I'm not the only one who's noticed this. You get in that bathroom and I don't know what it is, if it's the water or maybe it's just the one place you can be alone and have quiet in this world, in this day and age. But that magic bathroom, the shower, I get so much information in the shower. Doing the dishes, doing the dishes, I get with that water run. Okay, so I remember so many times at my family's bar too, or like myself and other people, be trying to think of something, and then we'd be on, having conversation and move on, and then somebody would go in the bathroom and come out, and then, oh, this is what it was. I remember it in the bathroom. So even like ordinary people are getting these downloads in the bathroom. I'm not sure what that's about. A couple of in The Secret, the movie The Secret, two of the people in that movie, Jack Canfield, had his first big breakthrough with Chicken Soup for the Soul of selling his books in the Enquirer. I don't remember the exact details of it, but the idea came to him in the shower, so there it is. And then Michael Beckwith, not in The Secret, but in other teachings of his, he was talking about a pee-pee prayer, where he had all his parishioners, do some sort of a prayer while they were in the bathroom, and they achieved a healing for this woman. So this bathroom thing, there's something to this. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it is the magical chamber. So this psychic ability is very much, to me, it's like tuning into a radio. And it gets clearer and clearer and stronger symbol the more you do it, the more you work that muscle. I very much relate it to writing music, as I've said in other videos. And if you remember, if you ever heard the story of Paul McCartney, when Yesterday, the Beatles song Yesterday, originally it was scrambled eggs. So it comes through like that, and that's very much how psychic things are. It's kind of faint at first, but you got to say it. You got to blurt it out or flesh it out, bring it into the flesh. It's just blurt it out and say it. It seems awkward at first, but eventually you're going to start to trust it, and it'll get stronger, and the signal will get stronger. With ear training too, it's like some people, your ordinary person probably he mainly hears the vocals on a song. Like your ordinary person, I'm sure, cannot pick out a bass line in a song. But if you're a musician and your ear gets stronger and stronger, you can pick out the bass line, or the drum parts and that. You can hear way beyond the vocals, and I've seen that in my own development. Or even songs that I learned when I was playing, like say songs I learned as a teenager. And there's been times when I'll go back and have to learn for some reason again now, and I think I know it, and then I remember, I hear what I was playing then, and it's wrong, because my ear was not developed as much as it is now. And that's how it is with the psychic thing, you get stronger and stronger, it gets clearer and clearer, and you're able to hear and see or feel more and more the more you do it. It's very much like writing music. In my case, a lot of times it'll be slow at first and it gets clearer and clearer. This was never so apparent right before 9/11, I should say, in the Bush-Gore election. If you recall, the Republicans are in red with a red background and the Democrats with the blue background. Well, Bush you know, the second here, Bush Jr. had the red background. And I was looking at it on TV, and I kept seeing this fire. The red background was turning into like moving flames. And every time I looked at it, it got clearer and clearer until it really became like this fiery thing happening behind him, to the point that I couldn't even look at the TV. And after a while, when I would look at it, it would be there immediately. It wasn't just slowly forming. You know, it just was getting clearer and clearer, and I'd look at it and I'd see this red fire behind him. You know, I pleaded with people. I says, please don't vote for him. He's going to get into a war. You know, I was upset about that, which, you know, that prediction came true with, you know, the war. But when 9/11 happened, I knew exactly what I'd been seeing. I was seeing the explosion of 9/11 behind his head during the election. The red screen was turning into this ball of fire. So when 9/11 happened, I realized that that is what I was seeing behind him the whole time, and that was, you know, very unsettling. And in those kind of cases, I don't see why I'm showing these things if I can't do anything about it. That's something that I'm get frustrated about. So why are you showing me this if there's nothing I can do to change it? You know, and sometimes it's not always what you think it is. Like in that case, I thought it was a war, which it was a war, but that wasn't what I was seeing. I was seeing 9/11. But other times, there's another instance, it's kind of a cute little story, or funny, I guess. I was with a boyfriend, and we were going out somewhere to see a band play, and we had to drive over this bridge, you know, to get there. And I'm like, we're not going over the bridge. I'm not going on that bridge. And he's like, oh, you're being crazy, you're being ridiculous. I mean, I basically had to throw a fit. I was like, let me out of the car. We're not going over the bridge. I'm like throwing a fit about it. So finally I won out, and we did go under the bridge, which is no small feat. It's this this tiny little dirt road. It's almost like going down in the Grand Canyon. Not quite that extreme, but pretty treacherous, you know, all because I had a bad feeling, right? So of course nothing happened to that bridge, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to hear the end of this, you know, because I wouldn't go on the bridge. But what happened was there was several bridge collapses that came within like a week. It was, I can't remember what year it was, maybe right around 2000 or early 2000s. I should have looked it up, but there were several major bridge collapses that happened, not in my town, and not that bridge, you know, but it was other bridges. Okay, one was in America, I believe, and one I think was over in Asia, but it did happen in quick succession after I had that premonition. So your premonitions aren't always exactly right on target, but you know, that was a psychic, you know, feeling. That was a psychic premonition, and not me not wanting to go over the bridge. I was picking up, you know, this bridge collapsing, but I just didn't have it quite right. And that's how it works. It's not an exact science. You know, that's why these guys, that amazing Randy and whoever, you know, it's not an exact science, but it is a true thing, and it is a talent that you can develop. Another thing that I've found is that if you're getting a message and it keeps coming to you and it keeps coming to you, if you deliver the message, it'll stop. So I've had to, you know, stick my neck out many times to people that have no belief in psychic stuff, but I just tell them what I'm getting for them, and then the message finally stops. I've seen that happen. It's like when you're playing music, and you know, sometimes you'll forget your own songs. I've forgotten many of my old songs. You know, you have to go back and learn your own songs because the message is coming through you. It's not necessarily, it's not something that's imprinted in you all the time. And so you get that music out there and you can release it, and you get the message out there and you can release it. Dreams are a great way for everybody that has access to the psychic ability and the subconscious and the spirit realm. You know, so ask a question before you go to sleep. Quite often you'll wake up knowing the answer, or you'll just feel better. You know, like that old expression, "Let me sleep on it, and I'll tell you in the morning." There's books. And speaking of dreams, I go to these dream I've been to these dream temples. I'm being schooled on the other side when I'm dreaming, and I have vague memories of that, of being in these marble-pillared temples in different places, you know. And often after that, a new ability will come forward. You know, some kind of new gift will start to emerge. So, and there's other people there, but I don't always know who they are. I'm going to do a whole series on that as well. So you've got to find your own way, and it is about going towards what you're attracted to without fear. Don't be fearful. I promise you it's going to be okay. Strengthen that muscle. It's something that we all have, and we have nothing to fear about. I think it comes from past lives of being persecuted, and remembering being burned at the stake or drowned, or any number of tortures that may have occurred in a past life when you tried to show your true spirit. But everybody has it, and it's time that we're going to bring it back forward again now, I think. Okay, so my rock and roll quote for today is from Mr. Van Morrison, and it is, "Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic." Okay, this is Vicki Verley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. Thank you for watching, donating, subscribing, commenting. You can check out, for a private reading, you can check out my main page, and there's a link to the private readings on the main page. And I look forward to talking to you soon.